You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Javier here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Rain Check. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. What? Where am I? My head. Huh? Battling disorientation, I fight to reorient myself, but a guttural groan escapes as searing pain courses through my thigh. I gaze blankly ahead, my eyes gradually refocusing, my body weighed down and soaked by the rain. There's a large figure in front of me. Is that Rhou? And who's he on top of? I can't make it out from the way they're positioned. Rhou? Wait, that is Rhou! Rhou lifts his paw and swings it down with full force, barely intercepted by the person underneath, causing her paw to strike the ground. Ah! Rhou, is that you? As my vision finally returns to normal, everything falls into place. I'm left in shock, watching Rhou fight off my attacker. Rhou skillfully immobilizes the attacker's head, foiling their attempt to sink their teeth in him. I flinch as I watch the wolf forcefully slam the raccoon's head onto the wet ground, abruptly ending the fight. Holy fuck! I stare at Rhou as he slowly rises, his posture and stance still poised for another round. Glancing around, I notice Javier's assailant lying face down several feet away. Over here! I turn to the whisper behind me and find the fox on the ground, wincing in pain, clutching his right shoulder. I forgot to warn you about the flash. That was horrible. I never want to experience that again. He chuckles and swiftly shifts his attention to Rhou. Slowly, the fox gets up, still holding his injured shoulder. I struggle to follow suit, my entire body protesting. Let's get the fuck out of here. I've reached my monthly quota of physical altercations. Rhou walks towards us with concern. You guys okay? Can you walk? He primarily focuses on my injured leg. Yeah. I manage to return a weak smile, despite the throbbing pain in my thigh, and survey the entire scene. The three thugs lie motionless, one of them with blood staining their leg. Right. I did that. Alright then, let's go. I shift my gaze to the boar being lifted by Rhu's sturdy arms. Quit daydreaming. Let's move, unless you'd rather stay here. Wait, what happened to them? Are they Questions outside. Main gates. We shouldn't linger. The two make haste with their steps, and I try my best to limp past the bodies on the ground without staring any further. What a mess. The rain is easing up. Thankfully, it's a light drizzle now. I manage to hobble my way out, with Javier taking the lead, disabling any remaining cameras and eventually unlocking the gates. The wolf effortlessly carries the boar in his arms while Javier runs alongside. Enduring the pain, I glance behind me to check for any potential followers. Nothing, thank God. After what feels like an eternity, I finally catch up with them. Rhu's crouching beside the boar, with Javier handing him a small dark bottle of rubbing alcohol. Damn. Looks like our friend here lucked out. Everything seems stable. As stable as things can get, I suppose. Rhou hands back a bottle and removes his gloves. He cleans the man's face and the exposed chest fur through the torn shirt. Thank God no one else came out. Javier smirks and takes out a device similar to the earlier scanner, waving it in front of me. You're welcome. The fox puts away the bottle and gloves into the trunk, then examines the guy once more, shaking his head. Poor guy. He's lucky you're such a skilled surgeon. Ha! You're kidding. Even you can do this. It's first aid. Wait, you're a surgeon? The wolf carefully picks up the boar as Javier opens up the back door. Hardly. I went to medical school but dropped out. Oh? Why's that? Javier shrugs. I know bits and pieces, but it's something about his family. Rhou ignores our comments and carefully places the boar in the back seat, barely managing to fit him in. If you guys have time to chat, you can discuss how the hell we'll be driving to the hospital. There's no space in the car for all four of us. Why don't we just call an ambulance? We cut the round trip in half for them. Plus, we don't want to explain what happened to Mr. Piggy here. Javier tries to open the driver's side door, but Rhou holds it shut. Hey! Get in the trunk. We don't have time to waste. Excuse me? What about my shoulder? I'm not going in the trunk. Remember last time If he dies, it'll be on you. His ears flatten as he sullenly makes his way to the trunk. I'm expecting some proper compensation later tonight. The stuffy air of the car mixed with my damp clothes is extremely uncomfortable. The windshield's fogged up, but Rhou turns on the AC. Do you mind if I take my shirt off? It's really wet. Rhou turns behind and picks up my jacket that's on the floor, passing it to me. Put this on, at least. I feel the clinging damp shirt off my body, which Rhou takes from me and deftly tucks it away behind the seat. Startled by the cold breeze, I quickly slip into my jacket. So, off to the hospital now? Rhou remains unresponsive, engrossed in studying the controls before swiftly shifting into drive and steering away, his eyes fixed on the gate ahead. I get a good look at Rhou and can't help but grin when I realize how funny he looks hunched over driving. My smile quickly fades as the awkward silence settles in. I hold on to my seat when I realize how fast we're going. As I glance at the dashboard, I catch the wolf stealing a look at me, triggering my recollection of Javier's earlier remark. Now might not be the right time to bring that up. Maybe I should ask about what happened back there instead. There was a bright flash earlier, and I think I lost consciousness for a bit. Do you know what happened? Javier used his dazzler to save you. I tackled the asshole off of you after that and took care of them. You should probably thank him later. Ah, and what about Javier's attacker? I'm not sure. Looks like he handled it himself, although not without sustaining injury. We didn't kill them, did we? Probably not. I swallow hard, trying not to dwell on the thought of being labeled a murderer. How's your leg? Huh? I look down at my leg, gently prodding the area and immediately regretting it as a jolt of pain shoots down. It hurts when I move or touch it. Kind of feels like it has its own pulse. Let's take a look at it when we're back. What is it? I feel bad. This was completely avoidable. Sorry for putting you two in danger. I promise it won't happen again. He ends his thoughts abruptly, and I sense a storm of emotions hidden behind his unyielding gaze ahead. Not knowing what to say, I wave a paw dismissively and point to the back seat. It's fine, but what about him? What about him? How's he doing? Internal bleeding, probably fractured arms and digits, chest burns, and a lot of small cuts. But I've seen worse. Glad his legs aren't broken or we'd have a fun time getting him in. Jeez. He's gonna be okay, right? I hope so. Can you check if he's still breathing? I turn around properly and crane my head over to study the man lying on his side towards us. Yeah, I think so. Then he'll live. He might know something, so I'm sure Javier is going to follow up on that. You don't think this has anything to do with my texts? The wolf shrugs. There's definitely some kind of gathering there. Now that we know what we're dealing with, we can't risk going back. Okay, but what's going to happen to me? The loud banging from the back startles me. Hey, I can still hear you guys, you know. We need to go back to get answers. We were so close. Javier's muffled voice echoes from the back. Rhou casts me a glance, looking unimpressed. You might be right, but it's too dangerous. Look at you guys. I'm surprised you two made it out with the injuries you have. We would have been fine if you helped us and didn't play hero to save that pig. Now I'm stuck back here because of it. The fox in the back continues making remarks, but I can barely hear him over the sound of the rain, which is picked up again, masking his voice. Rhou smirks and ignores Javier's comments, continuing to drive. The car lulls into a tranquil silence, accompanied by the soothing sound of heavy rain cascading around us. I stare off into the distance. The cool air-conditioned breeze relaxes me. My eyes grow heavy from exhaustion. Today's been one hell of a ride already. Huh? Rubbing my eyes a few times, I focus to find Rhou poised by my car door, brandishing an enormous clear umbrella. I quickly look at the driver's seat and then behind me. Both empty. Morning, we're getting food. His words are muffled by the glass, but luckily I can make them out. What happened to your suit? He groaned, sounding slightly disappointed. It's soaked. I threw it in the trunk. Now let's go. I stick close behind him, trying to avoid the puddles as he guides me out through a small empty street. We're back in the city, but I don't see the familiar silhouette of the Grand Marine in the horizon. Where are we? What happened to that guy? We're in the neighboring city. I figured we'd come here since it's close to the hospital. Javier can fill you in on everything. He chuckles and I return a forced chuckle back as I remember what had happened earlier. We walk up to a small building with the words Puma's Brew at the top. After you. He opens the door and I spot Javier motioning to us from the back as I walk in. It's a nice and quiet cafe, a bit small, with a lone Puma working behind the counter organizing things. Seems like a good place to unwind after what happened. I walk over to a small rectangular wooden table and take a seat across from Javier. About time.
I'll be back. Bathroom.
Yeah, have fun touching yourself in there. Javier imitates a shooing motion towards Rhou as he hangs his umbrella. The wolf retaliates by smacking him on the shoulder, leaving the fox flinching in pain before departing. That hurts, you mutt! He turns his attention back to me, his annoyed expression dissipating as he massages his shoulder with a paw. Are you okay? No, I'm not. Well, I can't say I didn't try, and maybe we should talk about something else. Do you guys come here often? You can say that. We debrief and get food here. The owner here is a childhood friend of mine. Oh, I see. He also acts as an informant for us. He takes a sip of his coffee that's been sitting there since we arrived. Sleep well? I tried to wake you up earlier, but you wouldn't budge. Must be nice not having to huddle up in the trunk like a ball. Yeah. I glance down at the table, but look back up when I hear Javier laughing. He downs the cup of coffee in front of him and grins as he passes me a menu. I'm just messing with you. Mostly. How's your leg? It still hurts when I move it, but it's manageable. I should be fine, but what happened to the man we found? We dropped him off at the hospital, quite literally. I cock a brow back in confusion. What do you mean? Rhou and I placed him in a secluded area of the hospital parking lot and called for an ambulance from a payphone. Can't afford to get caught. That's a lot simpler than I thought, especially considering the tools you have at your disposal. Sometimes simpler is better. Oh, right, thanks for saving me back there at the power plant. Rhou told me you used your dazzler to stun that guy. His face lights up almost immediately. Takes out the dazzler from his coat and twirls it in his paw. You mean this? Oh, it was nothing. I didn't mean to blind you either, but I didn't have time to explain. He chuckles and puts it back in his coat. You saved my life. I'm pretty sure that raccoon was about to end me. He shrugs. Don't mention it. If you died, I would have been next. Heh, I guess. Rhou sits down without saying a word, his gaze fixated on his phone. He eventually puts it away and waves the Puma from behind the counter over. I quickly glance over the menu, but nothing in particular catches my interest. Oh, that's a nice picture. The Puma comes over and smiles at us. Dust, how's the business? When are you gonna quit and come work with us? Rhou gives a nod to them, who returns the gesture and grins at Javier. Good, and I could never. The cafe means too much to me. The Puma lets out a hearty chuckle. Huh, but it's been a while, hasn't it? What brings you guys around this time? Another case. Another case. You know how it is. Oi, I do. Dust finally notices me and grins. New team member? No, he's accompanying us for this investigation. Oh, that's rare. You're lucky. He looks at me, waiting for a reply. Theodore. Oi, Theodore. I'm sure you've heard, but I'm Dust. Hope the two of you don't give them too much of a hard time. They had a bad experience in the past working with another civilian. Don't get me started. I'm still healing from the injuries. I chuckle nervously as Javier sneers at his own remark. No, they've been great. They've been a big help. Alright, y'all, I'm actually gonna pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our two gold tier members, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5 already. I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.